Hey everyone, Phil here from ChainSafe, the PM of Lodestar. So today I'm going to show you how to run a node on the Kiln Testnet. There is a great Launchpad guide here from the Ethereum Foundation in regards to the different client combinations here for how you can run a node on the Kiln public testnet. So here we are. There is one here specifically for Lodestar alongside Geth or Nethermind. And there's also an experimental Ethereum JS implementation here. So the best way to follow along is just to actually use this link here. And then it'll take you right to the Lodestar setup guide here. So before you start, luckily, we do have a setup script that makes it super simple, and it probably won't take more than a few minutes for you to get set up here. So we will need Docker, Git, and a bash shell to be able to run this, and I'll go through it with you right now. So if we need to, we must install Docker Engine first, so we'll just copy and go into our server here. So this one has a Ubuntu server installed, and once you get set up, it's very easy. You just got to copy and paste the commands here like so. So we'll install the certificates, perfect, and then we'll go right back into Brave, and we'll copy this here. Okay, so that will get the keyring. Next is this command here. So this will copy the, this is for the stable release. Perfect for Docker. So we'll copy that in there. And next we will call for the update, which will pull, as you can see, the latest one for Docker. And we'll now install the proper packages here by copying this. Enter. And yes, we do want to install. So once this is done installing, you'll have Docker Engine set up on your Ubuntu server. And then we will use the docker run hello world command, and that will actually test it to make sure that it's actually working. So we'll pull the hello world Docker image. Okay, pulling and runs it perfectly. Great. So now that that's done, we will now clone the Lodestar repository. So you use this here. I am in my main home directory here. Doesn't matter where you copy it, as long as you know where it is. So this will git clone our Lodestar repository. You can also alternatively use the depth command, which will basically pull like a lighter version of it, but it's fine. Either way, this will work. So now, once we're done that, we will edit some of the variables inside of the Kiln devnet folder. Okay. So here we are in our present working directory here. So we'll go right into Lodestar, okay, /devnet. Sorry, it's Kiln/devnets. So now if we list out what is in here, perfect, there's the kiln.variable file. So we'll use something like nano to edit this. Okay, so here are all the arguments that you will have on here. So if you wanted to play around with any of the other CLI flags and stuff for Lodestar, you would add them right over here inside Lodestar extra arguments. And then if you're planning to run a validator, a Lodestar validator with it, we have a super awesome, easy script or to be able to take a 24-word mnemonic and then actually allow you to run the validator knowing the mnemonic and then telling it exactly which indexes you would want. So if you have, one validator on there, that's fine. Just do mnemonics 0, or if you have 5, 0 to 5, like so. And then if you're planning to run Nethermind, there is down here on this other line, we can add some extra configurations for Nethermind, same with Geth, and then same with Ethereum JS. So it really depends on what you're planning to run here. But at the end of the day, you do want to ensure that whatever you are actually using, so for example, I will actually demonstrate here with Geth actually. If you wanted to add any of the extra parameters that Geth allows you to run, for example, like I usually use port 30304 instead of the default 30303. So I would add that on there. And then if you have any other extra arguments that you want to add specifically for Lodestar, feel free to do that. And then pretty much utilizing Control O to save that. And then we will exit. So once you have all the variables actually set up on there, what we'll do is I will briefly explain to you the different parameters on the sort of script, running the script with the arguments. So here we have the data directory. You don't really need to change this. This is where all of the configuration data will get set up. So it's already default Kiln data. The EL client is basically whatever you feel like running, whether that's Geth, Ethereum JS, or Nethermind. So you would just use that. It's stated down here. DevNet variables, we've already defined that. So that is already in the kiln.vars file. And then depending on how you actually want to run it, whether you're running it locally or if you're running it on a remote server like me here, you'll probably want to do it detached. So you can run it locally with terminal, and then it'll actually pop up with your terminal program to actually run it locally. But I'm going to use detached because I'm basically running this remotely on the server, so I will actually do that. I won't demonstrate how to do it with a validator, but if you do have a validator, just make sure you set up the arguments properly and then utilize this flag with a validator. So that will launch it with a Lodestar validator. Okay, so only use one of these with terminal or with detached. Only one of those should be provided. And based on what I had set up here, I'm likely going to use detached just to show you quickly how easy it is to actually set up. So I already have, let's see, I'm going to copy this script here and just make sure I run it with the proper commands that I would like to run. So I'm going to delete with validator because I'm not actually running it with a validator right now. And I'm going to delete the with terminal as well because I'm not running it locally on this computer right now. What I will do though is run docker with sudo because we'll need that to run the Docker files with, and then we'll do detach with it as well. So once we set that up, it should be good to go. So now it's going to pull the images that it requires. Good, and it's successfully running Geth. And now it's running detached, as you can see down here, with Lodestar and basically the parameters that we've already set in the kiln.vars file. So to double check that everything's working, we'll do sudo docker ps just to see that everything's up and running. Great. Okay, now the way we're going to check this is we're going to just see the output of the logs. and we will make sure everything's running properly. So we'll do sudo docker logs, and then we'll follow. Let's do geth first. So okay, looks like the geth is running properly. It's pulling the blocks. We'll just go up to the top here and just make sure whatever we did set is working properly. So yep, I mapped the network port to 30304, so that's working properly. And the terminal difficulty is set properly. So these are some of the things that you might want to look for if you're customizing things or you want to make sure that everything is set properly. So once it's catching up to the head here, we will get out of this. Let's clear this. And let's take a look at the Lodestar beacon node. So do sudo docker logs follow Kiln or Lodestar. Okay, great. So it is syncing right now. But give this time, at least everything is running properly, and that's as simple, that's all it takes to really get it up and running. So if there's any other further questions, or if you receive any sort of problems where you need to troubleshoot, please feel free to visit us at our Discord, our ChainSafe Discord, and post in our Lodestar general channel or the troubleshooting channel if you need help getting this set up. That's it. It's as simple as it gets. Thanks for watching.